I really appreciate you making time to speak with me because I know it's late for you.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah,
It's really
yeah,
kind. And it's kind of you to give me more time for this project. It really, I do appreciate it a lot.
no problem.
Amazing. So really, there's two main questions I wanted to ask you. And
Mhm.
the first one was, what was it that made you interested in participating in a project like this and contributing your chapter?
Well, number one, when I asked you about it and I found out that it is something that is, to be shared for everyone, and the intention is also for others to, to read and learn from it. So I did not hesitate to share it because that's really what I also want. I don't want just to, have the learning on my own or those people who are around me. But if there's a platform that I can share these experiences for for greater good, for a greater number of people, then why not? So when you invited me to, dive in, so I did not hesitate to, to share my experiences and my thoughts on education.
And can you share just a little bit about what you did share in your chapter without revealing too much so that we keep the suspense, but just a little piece of what you shared?
Okay, what did I share? Well, I shared about my passion, which is education. I shared about how I was able, the process of my own learning, from the beginning, all these challenges that I had when I was, a kid, and then uh sharing also that there's no instant thing that made me like education, but there's a certain process, and that process is actually, a challenging ones that made me discover how, how education is crucial, and it made me realize, my love as well. It helped me discover what I really want. So it's more of, the process, the learning process that I've been through, not inside the classroom, but throughout the life that I had.
And it's a wonderful chapter. I really appreciated how much you shared about your life and your experiences, and also about the work that you do. So the reason I
Yeah.
invited you specifically is the work that you do.
Yeah. Also, I realize one thing that I also shared is being open for vulnerability, because I think that that also makes sense that when you make yourself vulnerable and open your weaknesses to others, that also strengthens me. And sometimes people are, hesitant to be vulnerable, to, to be open, and to show, some weaknesses about who they are. But actually being vulnerable for me, I realize is, part of my strength as well.
Beautiful. I love that. Can you talk a little bit about the organization that you run, that you founded?
Okay, so the organization that I founded is called Silid Aralan, or in English, it's Classroom. Basically, what we do is we help those low performing students, considered low performing students here in the Philippines. These are the students who were left behind academically, but because, well, I believe that everyone is intelligent, but we have, a different perspective of intelligences. So I believe that they are also intelligent. So we customize a learning technology, a learning framework for them, for these children. And then what we do is, like a coach, we unleash their full potential. Um, Instead of teaching them how to learn, we first teach them how to love learning. I realize that no matter how difficult, learning is, but because you do it, not because you have to, but you do it because you love doing it. So I think that's the key for kids, when they realize that, for instance, math or literature or whatever subject it is, or science, but they if they start from, from their passion, from the purpose of it, knowing the purpose of it, then it will be, you know the process is not easier, but it's easier to carry the loads because you like it. So that's what we do. So at the end, what you want is for these kids to increase their self-esteem and self-confidence, because that's also what I discovered during my stay in the garbage dump site. I realized that when you increase the self-esteem and self-confidence, no, of the learners, of the children, if they see who they are, that they are, perfect, whole, and complete, then it will open up a lot of things for them, and they will not be afraid to commit mistakes because they know that it's part of the learning process, and that will not make them, smaller, or think that others are better than them. So that's our first goal. Grades and academic performance is just a bonus. But the most important thing is for each child to know how great they are. So that's
Right.
what we do.
Beautiful. And my last question is, especially for you, because you are so self-directed and purposeful in your learning for yourself and for what you can contribute for others, what did you learn from writing this chapter for the book?
Okay. Well, number one, a lot of things that when I was writing it, well, it's like I'm connecting the dots, like connecting, those past experiences and make sense out of it, because I think when I went through with all those, processes of those experiences, at the onset, it doesn't make sense. You're just, continue doing it. Do not quit. Just, keep on pushing yourself. And then when you look back and, provided me time to, reflect and write a bit about this, I realized that those, what I realized is really how each milestones are connected, and there is nothing that I experience that is considered worthless. And there's no like bigger or smaller things that happen, but each milestone is part of a greater thing. That's what I realize. I realized that when I, if I would omit one of those things, then definitely the outcome will be altered, and definitely, everything will be altered, even my perspective and who I am right now. So I think being, having time to write, reflect, make me connect all those dots, because those were the times that I don't have any time of connecting it, but just really, pushing myself. But writing now is more of appreciating it, appreciating of the things that happened, and also realizing and acknowledging that what happened is, with purpose and interconnected.
Thank you, Arcie.
Thank you, Sarah.